ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So we are looking at one befuddled student who says, how can I understand the meaning of a sentence? Mahavakya means sentence. When I don't even follow the individual words in the sentence. So I need to know the meaning of the words. Who is this Jiva? Who is this Paramatma? See, the thing is, if the student has Shama, Dama, Uparati, all these things, it's not that the student doesn't know the meaning of the word Jiva and Ishvara. But we can take it like this, that the student has gone through the first portion of the Veda, which is Karma Kanda, where the Jiva and Ishvara are seen as two separate entities, never to meet except after death, of the Jiva. And, and that some kind of a oneness, that is the oneness. But otherwise, they don't meet. There is no moksha, Jivan Mukti is not possible. So he's coming fresh he's a fresh graduate, we can say, from the Karma Kanda, and therefore he is befuddled by the notion that the two are one, and not they will become one later after the dropping of this body, but they are one already right now. That is, I think, the confusion, because you would be familiar with the terms Jiva. But when he says, Ko Jiva hai, who is this Jiva? He is confused because his idea of Jiva is something completely other than Ishvara. And so he is confused, and that's why he is asking all these questions like that. We have to take it. Okay, yeah. So then I thought about it yesterday. I said, how can he not know? He must know, but then there must be some reason here. Then, in the 9th verse, that's where we left him, I think, feeling completely, at his wit's end. How to understand I am Brahman? First you are telling me you are Jiva, and then you are telling me you are Brahman. How is that possible? How can I be both at the same time? And please tell me, teach me. And the teacher is very pleased. Yeah. So is the teacher pleased when the student is confused? No. The teacher is pleased because the student is honest and says, I don't understand, please teach me. So that's why the teacher is pleased, and the teacher knows that when there is this kind of a candor and a certain honesty about where one is at, then it's easier to teach. It is easier to teach because the resistance is not there, or even if it's there, it can be easily surmounted. And so that's why it is easier to teach. And so therefore, the teacher says, what does the teacher say? A teacher says something in verse number 10. Let us read that. Satyamaha bhagavanatra. Oh, Bhavanatra. Satyamaha Bhavanatra. Viganannaiva vidyate. Hetuf padartha bodho hi. Vakyarthavagateriha. You can come, no problem. So, the teacher is pleased and addresses the student with respect. Bhavan, as opposed to Tvam. Tvam means informal, you, as in Tattvamasi. But here, Bhavan. Bhavan means you respect. And why does the teacher respect? Because he agrees with him. Yes, What you have said is very, very clear and it is the truth. Unless you know the meaning of the words, the meaning of the sentence is scarcely understood. So the meaning of the words must be known. See, here there is a double entendre. That's all that the verse is. That's all the verse is saying. I mean, if you just look at the sentence, Satyam aha. Indeed, you have spoken the truth. You speak the truth. Bhavan. Atra, in this context, Viganam means there is no contradiction. Na eva vidyate. There is no contradiction between Ishvara and Jiva. That's what he wants to say, but it is not clearly said. And so there is no contradiction. Or the double entendre could be, there is no contradiction in your words. You are absolutely correct in this assumption. Hetuhu means the cause. Padartha bodhah bodhasya hetu, the cause of the understanding. So vakyartha avagatehe hetuhu. Yeah, so the hetuhu goes with vakyartha avagatehe. Yeah, so the cause of understanding the sentence is what? Padartha bodhah, he is indeed the meaning of the words. So in a way, verse number 10 doesn't have really anything extra. We can say he's just repeating what the student said in verse number 9, but with a twist. Yeah, otherwise it would not be, there is no need for verse number 10. But here is there's a twist. Padartha and Vakyartha, that is where the twist is. Padartha means what? Padasya artha means the meaning of the word. Now, the meaning of the word tvam, what is it? Tvam means what? You. So, it has two meanings, correct? The contextual, empirical, everyday you. The good for nothing you. The body you. The mind you. The senses you. You. Correct? And the Shastrik you. The you that is revealed by the Shastra through the words Tattvamasi, Lakshyartha you, and Vachyartha you. Vachyartha means the direct meaning of the word. The direct meaning of the word you reveals a lot of nonsense. That's exactly what it reveals. The direct meaning of the word you is just, oh, son of so-and-so, daughter of another samsari, and then what else? And then this thing, sister of so-and-so, brother of so-and-so, mother of so-and-so, father of so-and-so, and then the co-worker of so-and-so, employer of so-and-so. This keeps going on. Maybe I'm moving, I don't know. So then, what else? The employee of so and so, citizen of such and such country, and then so many things. There is always a connection. So the Vachyartha you, the Tvam which is the Vachyartha, is a connected you. It's a you that is connected to many things. First it is connected to the body, then it is connected to the mind. Then there is a connection with the sense organs, prana, 5 elements, so many things. That is just, without even the people and the things, other things involved. Then there are people, my people and not my people. There is already another connection. And even in the disconnection, these are not my people, there is a connection. And so that is another, that is another iteration of this you. Then there are people people I'm connected to. There is also there are gradations. Then there are things in the Jagat. Mine and then not yet mine. You have to be careful there. Soon to be mine, not yet mine. So this is the situation. And so then this becomes, this is what is called Vachyartha, the direct meaning of the word aham or tvam. The direct meaning, this is what it yields. Fat, thin, restless, angry, hungry, hangry. Which hangry means hungry and angry at the same time. It's a new word. Yeah. Didn't know I was hungry, Therefore now I am angry. So therefore I am hangry. Okay, so these are all things. This is all the direct meaning of the word you, the contextual meaning of the word you, the empirical meaning of the word tvam. Now that is not going to do any favor, correct? If the Mahavakya rested on the direct meaning of the word you, the two can never be the same. The direct meaning of the word you reveals a miserable entity and frightened also, frightened and miserable, subject to shoka, sorrow, and bhaya. What is bhaya? Fear. This is the you that reveals. And the direct meaning of the word Ishvara is what? Oh, all glory, boundless, endless, all knowledge. And then all six bhagas are talked about as Ishvara. Bhaga means blessings, glories, auspicious things. 6 things that make Ishvara what Ishvara is. So what are they? Samagram jnanam, all knowledge. Aishwaryam, samagram, all complete overlordship, all knowledge, complete Shrihi. Shrihi means all resources. And then Virya. Yeah, Virya. Yeah, Virya means Samarthyam. Samarthyam means the ability to project, take back and sustain and take back the universe. So then Samagra Shrihi, all resources belong to Ishvara. The Shakti is Ishvara. Samagram Balam. Balam means is what? All strength. Strength belongs to Ishvara. Everything that is strong is just the face of Ishvara, this thing of Ishvara. Then what else is there? So how many did we cover? Shrihi, Balam, Samagram, Vairagyam. Samagram, Vairagyam. Vairagyam means even though all the resources belong to Ishvara, Ishvara is not attached to anything. So total dispassion and total objectivity. So like this there are 6 bhagas. That constitute the direct meaning of the word Ishvara means the one who is the overlord of all, the one who is the creator, the one who is the projector, the one who is the sustainer, the one who takes back the Jagat, the one who has total Shakti to create, who is the Jagat Karanam. So then obviously between the miserable son of so and so, daughter of so and the complaints who are full of a litany of complaints, Sahasranama of complaints, every jiva is the composer. Sahasranama means what? 1008 names. Yeah. Every jiva has 1008 complaints. And so this is the jiva's lot, and that's a lot. Okay, and so how? So the direct meaning of the word tvam, or the direct meaning of the word, it wants to install something. I'll say no. Okay, yeah, because right now that's not a good idea. Okay, so the direct meaning of the word tat and the direct meaning of the word tvam have nothing in common. Nothing in common. So in a way the teacher is saying that yes, you need to know the padartha in order to know the vakyartha, but you need to know the padartha in a certain way. Simply knowing the meaning of the word you is not going to yield this knowledge. You already know what you are. And that's why you have presented yourself before me, because you cannot stand what you are. That's why you are here. So it's not for want of knowledge of the empirical you that you are here. You already know who you think you are. You already know what you think you are. That is not the issue. The issue is something entirely different. And what is the issue? You know that what you know is not adding up. That is the issue. Ishvara also you know, not locally available you know. And the author of all the laws, the manifester of the laws is manifest as the laws you know. And then you know that All these 6 bhaga, Shad Aishwarya is there, all these Aishwaryas are there, your glories are there, and all these things But the two can, that's why you are surprised. How can the two be one? What is this oneness? What is this kind of a Jiva and what is this Ishvara? I don't understand. And how can they be one? What is this knowledge of oneness? Because the direct meaning of the words Tvam and Tat do not yield that oneness. So, in other words, the direct meaning of the word Tvam and Tat, those meanings are influenced by, vitiated by the mithya that we talked about yesterday. The contextual meaning means mithya meaning. Why is it mithya? Because that's what it is. Because whatever you can objectify is mithya. So can you objectify the body?
Yes.
Why it took so long? Yeah. So, yeah. Can you objectify the mind? Let me think about it. Yeah. Yes, you can objectify the mind. Senses? Yes. And then can you objectify the ahankara, the I notion? Yes. With difficulty, but yes. Yes. And so therefore, this is so all that you can objectify, if you take to be yourself, then you are in trouble. That is what the teacher is fixing to say. That is what he is getting ready to say now. Teach. Because that is just, what you see is not what you get in Vedanta. Drigeva natu drishyate. Exact translation. What you see is not what you get. The seer is not seen. The truth of the seer is that which is never subject to objectification through any of the sense organs, for that matter through any means of knowledge. Not at all subject to objectification. And so therefore what? So therefore there should be a drastic revolution in your thinking about the words Tvam and about the word Tat. These two words will have no bearing at all if you continue to look at them as you have been doing. Because they will never come together. Because there is something fundamentally wrong with the definition. Vachyartha is not going to make Aikya Vijnanam. Aikya Vijnanam means the knowledge of oneness. It's not going to yield. Why? Because Vachyartha is dependent upon what? Vak. Simply. And Vak is dependent upon what? Mind. Mind is dependent upon Ahankara. Like this, Ahankara is dependent upon Raga and Dvesha, which again circles back to the mind because that's where they live. And so the whole, in other words, it is all Vacharambhanam Vikaro Namadheyam. That is what Vachyartha is. A famous sentence from the Chandogya Upanishad. Vak Arambhanam, Vak Alambanam as well. Dependent upon the speech. So all these whole flowery definition of I, you, is all dependent upon speech. I have a body. I don't like it very much, but I have it. And then I have a mind. Most of the time I don't know where it is, but it is somewhere. And then I have senses. They drive me senseless. And then I have a job. Oh, here I can say some good things about myself. I have a wonderful job. I have a high-paying job. I have a great job description. See, this is all the ahankara hanging on to certain definitions which are basically dependent upon the tongue, vak, speech. It's all dependent upon the speech. What are you going to do? How is this going to yield the truth of you? And that speech is vitiated by the ragadveshas. That speech is also vitiated by the ahankara, which is dependent upon or which has embraced, which is in a tight embrace by avidya. Avidya, self-ignorance, is hugging the ahankara tightly. like a skin disease, okay, and then, which refuses to leave. You try some cream, it's gone, somewhere else it appears, and then you try some pill, okay, externally it's not going away, so I'll take something internally. Then it goes away for a few days, and then you get a little bit stressed, it comes back. This is how it is. And so this ahankara is hugged by atma ajnanam, a chronic condition up till now, okay, yeah. Now that we have started Vakya Vrtti, it's no longer a chronic condition. So it's a chronic condition because it seems to be always there. At least life after life after life after life after life, it's been there. And so this is the problem here. They are all they are all a pack of thieves. This ahankara, this manaha, buddhi, and then what else is there? Chitta. All these things, they are all together. They are all part of this big, keep this big bluff going that I am a separate entity, subject to fear, subject to sorrow, subject to complaints. This is, and subject to demands. And finite. I'm a finite entity, and that's why I'm sorrowful, and that's why the whole thing is so emotionally painful. This is what it is. And they keep this narrative going, because the Vak is a servant of the mind. The mind thinks, I am unloved, and the Vak gives, the Vak says, oh, I can write a poem about that. I'm good with words. I'm going to write a poem. I am unloved. No, in poetry you have to, unloved am I. Like that you have to yeah. You just change the words, change the order of the words, and then it becomes poetry. Yeah. This is, and then, the Vak is very clever. So the Vak tells the mind, I am your servant, and whatever you want me, you can, you see, because the two are codependent on one another. It's like that person who could not see, and the person could not see, and then made friends with a person who could not walk. Okay, so the lame man and the blind man. So the lame man got on the shoulders, rode on the shoulders of the blind man, said, go here, go there, no, don't crash in this tree, go left. And the blind person had no problem because had full function of the legs. And so the two came together in some kind of a beneficial relationship for both of them. Here also the mind says, I have such great ideas, I would become a great author, but I don't know what to do with these ideas. The Vak says, I'll write a book, I'll do some things. Don't worry, let me be your scribe. Like Ganesha breaking off a little piece of his tusk and writing the Mahabharata. He only had one condition. He said, Vyasa, Lord Vyasa apparently said, are you good at taking dictation? I mean, what a thing to ask Lord Ganesha, right? Yeah, are you good at dictation? And Lord Ganesha said, if you stop, if I am made to, if I finish before you start thinking, if I finish, before the next thought comes, I'll just get up. If there is a gap in your composition, I'll get up and throw the pen and go away. And so imagine how the whole Mahabharata was composed. That's why the meter is called Jaya, victory, So like this, that was a very sacred relationship between Bhagavan, Vyasa and Ganesha. But here, this is a nefarious relationship between the mind and between the ahankara, the mind /mind ahankara, and the Vak. I have such great ideas. I don't know how to bring them to light. Vak says, I'll do this. Because I wish I had ideas. I'm just a scribe. I will write and I will do this. So then the narrative of the self, the autobiography, is a very miserable one. Autobiography of a Bhogi. This is all what it is. We've discussed this many times before. Chapter 1, misery. Chapter 2, infamy. Chapter 3, complaints. Chapter 11, bankruptcy. Emotional bankruptcy. And what is chapter 12? Not conclusion. Confusion. And then to be continued. Next life, ... And then again misery. Misery loves company in the next life. That's all it is. And this is Vachyartha of Tvam. How are you going to understand that you are Ishvara? Because you have Vachyartha. The Vak also has penned some poetry about Ishvara also. Oh Ishvara, thou art wonderful. Something like that it would have written. Haiku, it would have written about Ishvara. So what are you going to do? How are you going to get past this nonsense? How are you going to get past this bunch of lies that you have told yourself and other people have told you for life after life after life after life? All lies. How are you going to come out of this? That's why Sharanagati to the Guru. And that's why the Guru says Lakshyartha, not Vachyartha. Because the direct meaning of the word you, Tvam, yields confusion and misery. Nothing more than that. Therefore, we have to look for the implied meaning. Don't say Lakshyartha is indirect meaning, implied meaning. And it's not just about the word you, about everything. About everything in the world, there is, the Vachyartha is just, describes things not as they are, but as you wish them to be, or you don't wish them to be. It's a subjective rendition. Everything is like this. All the things are dependent upon Vak. All the things in the universe are dependent upon words. Word is dependent upon on speech. Speech is dependent upon the tongue. So everything is tongue dependent. And so you keep going through the whole list of, somebody told me that one person must not have had anything better to do. So they went and photographed each and every item in their house. Everything. In all the rooms. And then so they had, I think, I don't know, 1.2 million things or something. Every single thing they photographed. Every shoe, everything. Yeah, lot of patience and a lot of time, yes, free time. But, and they told me this, and then showed me the photo of all the, some of the items. I didn't see all of them, some of the items. Then I thought, okay, this is also dependent on Vak. This one is also dependent on Vak. Each and everything. It's just a word with a meaning. Word and meaning. Shoe, word and meaning. Raincoat, word and meaning. A coat for when it rains. It's an English samasa. Word and meaning. Word and meaning. Umbrella, word and meaning. Pot, word and meaning. Thought, word and meaning. Hat, cat, mat, rat. Word and meaning. Everything is a word which has a meaning. That's all it is. The whole world is just, you can tell, it is the L should be silent in the word world. Then the whole world is just word. And that's what I suppose the Bible meant. In the beginning there was word. This is the word, knowledge. That word is nothing but that word also. If you take the Lakshyartha of this word, it is knowledge. It is Bhagavan. That's why in the Bible it is said that the word was with God, nay, the word was God. That is what it is. It's not separate from Bhagavan. It is Ishvara. But that is again Lakshyartha, to go there. You can't arrive at that from Vachyartha. It is an implied meaning, it is not the direct meaning. This is very important to understand, that the direct meaning of the word does not yield anything at all except a headache. That's all it is. Doesn't yield anything. What do you understand? You can't, that's why you cannot give the knowledge of the world completely to another person. Why? Because the world is already always changing, evolving, and secondly, it is so huge that by the time you have communicated, there will always be something more to be delivered. And it's not possible to say everything. Not at all possible to say everything. You cannot give the knowledge, you cannot give the knowledge of any discipline completely to another person, because you yourself don't know it. You can be researching it for 10 lifetimes, but you still will not know it. That's why knowledge gets splintered and splintered and splintered and splintered. More and more and more. As you specialize. First, you can say general medicine. And then after that, what? No. I am some kind of I am a gastroenterologist. And even in that, there is, I'm only a specialist in the upper part of the esophagus, and then, or I'm just a expert in one small portion of the intestines. So like this, it gets more and more of specialized. So in the end, you know less and less of more and more. This is what it is, because it's Ishvara, because the whole Jagat is nothing but Ishvara. And not knowing this, you take the Jagat to be Vachyartha. This is where one is going to go. So you can't even, you can't tell anybody anything. You cannot give them the knowledge of something wholly. Not at all possible. Because of this, the splintered nature of the words and their meanings. The words getting more and more and more specialized. But Brahma Vidya is the only thing you can give somebody, teach somebody entirely, because it is all dependent on that I, which is self-evident consciousness. So you can give them completely, not otherwise. You cannot give anything else. Even sugar. How are you going to say how sugar tastes like? What is sugar? Sugar. What is, I don't know sugar. What is sugar? Let's say now we are talking about all these, the Webb telescope has come. And then there is a prophecy that in most people's lifetimes, currently the aliens will come. And they will have nothing to say to us. That is the prophecy. And somebody made this prophecy on live television in India. And apparently he has been very successful in other prophecies. I don't know. So recently, just 2-3 months back, and so what did he say? Somebody sent me a clip of it, and I made a mental note to get off WhatsApp after that. Haven't yet done it, but so note to self. But anyhow, so once these things come, you naturally click on them and you waste your time listening to these things. And so this fellow said, what did he say? He said, these aliens will come. First, a few of us will disappear because they will they will siphon us off, and they won't hurt us. They will just study our brains and then drop us back. And after the 3 or 4 they take, they will realize there is nothing to study. Because this is a far advanced civilization, absolutely advanced. And in fact, they may be having second thoughts. Why did we contact these earthlings? These dingalings? Why did we contact these people? Instead of brains, they have just hollow heads. So then, let's say they come here and they don't have the concept of sweet, or you want to communicate to them. Somehow you establish some kind of a language. How are you going to tell what is sweet? How is it possible? No, sweet, that's all you have to that's all you have to say. You have to just make smacking sounds. That's all you have to, you have. You don't have any way to communicate sweet. You don't have any way to communicate the emotion that one is feeling in any, moment. Very difficult to communicate that in its entirety. Why? Because it's all splintered. It's all finite. It's all dependent upon Vak. This is Vachyartha. But it is possible to give Brahma Vidya entirely to another person because it is Lakshyartha. It is communicated through the implied meaning of the words. Very, very wonderful. So what is this Lakshyartha? Implied meaning. What is implied meaning? Implied meaning means that which is the unchanging thing in that particular word. Whatever is conveyed by that word, there are two components in every word: the variable and the invariable. So, in arriving at the Lakshyartha, you retain the invariable and take away the variable. This is called Lakshya, and a particular operation of the Lakshya, Lakshyartha, an implication called Bhagatyaga Lakshana. So Bhagatyaga means you keep one portion of it. That which is invariable you keep. Tvam. What is invariable in Tvam? What is invariable? That you are that you are so and such and such height, such and such weight, that is variable. What is the invariable? You are, consciousness. That awareness is invariable. Because that awareness is, all other things are. So then you take away the body. How to do that? Cognitively, okay? Yeah. Take away the body. Take off the body means discount it in the discussion. Take away the mind, and then take away the ahankara, take away the senses, and then what you're left with is the indweller of this appendage called body, called mind, called senses. This complex, body-mind complex. And that indweller, who is always the same, is the one that is the implied meaning of the word Tvam. Sakshi, the witness. In fact, really speaking, it's not even the witness, because the witness is again a relational thing. So in relation to the specs, then I am a witness because I'm looking at the spectacles and I'm saying I am the observer of the glasses. I'm a witness. But suppose there is nothing to witness. Are you still the witness when you have nothing to witness? No. So the witness is still a kind of a temporary placeholder for the nascent Vedantin who is getting ready to understand what the implied meaning of a word constitutes. So otherwise one will make the mistake of thinking that all that there is nothing, because everything, I have taken away the body, I have taken away the mind, I have taken away the senses, there is nothing left. So therefore you catch hold of the witness, because you are still living in a manifest universe, and then there are plenty of things to witness externally, and there are plenty of things to witness internally in the form of thoughts, etc. So you catch hold of that witness as that invariable truth of the body-mind sense complex, which is the arrived at implied meaning, lakshyartha of the word Tvam. And here is how the Bhagatyaga Lakshana, also called Jahat Ajahat Lakshana, Jahat Jahal Lakshana, operates. So from the word tvam, we have done a kind of a cleansing, right? We have done a sweep. And what have we swept away? Body, mind, senses. So what do they all constitute? What are the things that we, is there a word for all the things that we have swept away? Is there one word for that? Hmm?
Nikya.
All that can be observed, all that can be objectified, we have got rid of. And we have retained that which is not an object, which is which is dependent upon that self-evident I, that consciousness which says I am, I am, I am, without needing to ratify itself, without needing to corroborate itself. That one is retained. Do you see that? How we have done away with that. And the same thing we have to do on Ishvara's side also. So this is easy enough. Why is Vedanta so hard? Well, because there are certain problems. There are certain problems with doing this because there is a deep habit, a pattern, an orientation to identify oneself as the body, to identify oneself as the mind, and all these accoutrements. And so the lakshyartha is applied. And later on, I think in verse 13 or 14, the teacher is going to say, you need to practice this between 5 and 7 on Wednesdays. No, all the time. All the time you need to practice this. The teacher is getting ready to say. But first, this is a very ingenious thing, because so the difference between vachyartha and lakshyartha are many. The first thing what I am doing, when I go for the implied meaning of the word, what I am doing is I am no longer depending upon the speech. And the speech again is vitiated by my own subjectivity. I'm no longer looking, I'm not on the subjective realm. I'm not caught in the play of words and meanings anymore. I'm not on the level of what the Chandogya describes as Vacharambhanam. No, I have gone from there. I'm no longer there. And in fact, I have entered the objective realm of simply being. I'm describing a conscious being who is here and who is the witness of everything that is objectifiable, itself non-objectifiable. And so therefore, this is, so when you transition from vachyartha to lakshyartha, it's not just a standpoint or a different vantage point. That it is, of course, but it is, in addition to that, it is much more than that. It is going from the realm of subjectivity to objectivity. Finally, it is also going from the realm of wanting to describe the I using words and categories, and instead of that, letting the I speak for itself as simply I am. It's so beautiful. Before you speak for the I, I am fat, I am thin, I am tall, I am restless, I am angry, hungry, all these things. You means the ahankara speaks for the I. And so the ahankara, what does it do? It confuses itself for the not I, and then from that standpoint of confusion speaks for itself, on behalf of itself. Autobiography of a bhogi, that is what happens. A sad tale, a pity party. It's just a pity party. Come one, come all to the miserable ball. This is what it is. Everyone is invited and everyone comes also because they all want to commiserate about their own lives. So it's a total pity party. And therefore it is a solipsistic self-definition. A self-definition that is entirely subjective. Vachyartha. And then Lakshyartha means you are already entering the realm of objectivity. How much more objective can you be other than I am? It's a fact. No, I'm sure some feelings are involved in I am. Tell me which ones. What if I say I am happy? That's but still that is predicated upon what? Your being. I am. If you are not, then how can you be happy? I am sad, I am happy is all predicated upon those two words. I am. Aham asmi. And then that I am is also not just one truth. I am. That I am reveals something else. It's not just that I exist and I am self-existent. That's part of it. But it's not just that. It is also that I am and I know I am. Sat, I am. Chit, I know I am. That being which is I, that being is a knowing being. That's why we say conscious being, conscious of itself, conscious of everything else. So that being which I am is a knowing being, is a being that knows itself. So then we have Sat and then we have Chit. How to bring in Ananda, Ananta? You keep asking the question, what? Yeah. How long I am? I am now? 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 Yes. How about now? Yes. Now? Yes. Now, don't ask that question anymore, because then there will be not that next now will not be there, okay? Yeah, so don't ask that question, one feels like saying. But really, there is a point to this. Now means how long is the length of now? The length of now is forever. And so I exist, Sat, I am sentient, I am consciousness, I am knowledgeable, because I know what I know and I also know what I don't know. That means I'm all knowing. Because I know what I know, and this is ontological, and I know that I don't know. And what I know and what I don't know, also I know. Because I know that I don't know certain things. And that I know never becomes I don't know. This is Chit. This is the I from the standpoint of sentience. And then Ananta means that I as that conscious being never comes to an end. What is the proof? Are you there or not? Tell me. I think so. Okay, that's the proof. No, I know I am there, but then how can you say I am there forever? That's what it is. What is the proof? The proof is the Upanishad. Vakya Vrtti is the proof. This is not something that is to be inferred. This is not something to be deduced. This is not something to arrive at through some complex, doing some sums. No. This is something revealed in the Upanishad because it is giving you a means of knowledge that you do not have in order to look at the reality which is yourself. It is giving you that. And it is giving you a means of knowledge in the form of words. Oh, come on, I already had words. What kind of words did you have? Sad words, mad words, bad words. Okay. Case closed. Because what else to say? Those words were not going anywhere, dead-end words that were leaving you deadened to the reality. They were not going anywhere, they were not doing anything. But these words which we are talking about are based on, are a pair of eyes. They are based on a revelation, on a revelatory narrative, which are the Upanishads. They reveal who you are through words that have to be assimilated and understood without resistance. Oh, great. Okay, Vachyartha are my words and Lakshyartha is the Upanishad's words. Great, very convenient. True, but there is a big reasoning behind that. We went through the whole reasoning. Vachyartha subjective. But who are you to say the words of the Upanishad are objective? Why do you say that? How can you say that? Do you have any problem in what the Upanishad says? I might. Okay, do you have any problem in the vision that you are the whole? No. Okay, shut up. That's all. So if the words of the Upanishad, of Vakya Vrtti, whatever teaching, are telling you exactly what you want to know, converting your miserable autobiography of a bhogi into an autobiography of a yogi, then what is your problem? Why are you complaining even about that which is a potential source of redemption here from the misery of samsara? Samsara means all this. Samsara means playing in the world of words while forgetting that it's just little blocks. Children play on those 6 sides A, B, C. It will be there, just like that. Then one child snatches it from the other and then beats it on the head also with a block, literally block head, yeah. And so this is something which is to be really reckoned with. This is a means of knowledge. This is something to imbibe. This is something to understand with an open mind and heart. It is something to listen to. Because you can't read it. If you read the Upanishad, what will happen? Nothing. That's what will happen. You can't read it at all. And so therefore, there is a lot of double meaning in verse number 10. That this padartha and this vakyartha for you has to be explained properly, because otherwise you will not understand anything. Has to be this padartha, the meaning of the words have to be explained from the standpoint of the Upanishad, not from your own private standpoint of what you think this is or what you want it to be. Then the Vakyartha, the Tattvamasi, will be extremely clear. So then this is what. So let's see this verse. Satyamaha bhavan. So viganam means there is no contradiction. No contradiction. Atra viganam na eva vidyate. Here there is no contradiction. Means that where is there no contradiction? There is two meanings. There is no contradiction in what you said, that the meaning of the words must be understood before the sentence can be understood. True. And also there is no contradiction between Jiva and Ishvara. Both we have to say. There is no contradiction at all. Because Vakyartha avagatehe iha hetuhu padartha bodhaha. So this is the thing. Then the teacher asks a question. Let us look at that. Antahkarana tadvritti Sakshi Chaitanya Vigraha Ananda Rupa Satyam Sat Rupa Satyam San, not Sat. Ananda Rupa Satya San Kim Natmanam Prapadyase. Together. Antahkarana tadvritti Sakshi Chaitanya Vigraha Ananda Rupa Satya San Kim Natmanam Prapadyase. Teacher asked the question. Kim? Why not? Why not what? Prapadyase. Why not? Why do you not understand? Pad to understand here. So why don't you understand properly? Why don't you understand this? What do you know? What is there to understand? Antahkarana tad vritti. Antahkarana means the body mind, the mind, buddhi, ahankara, chittam constitute what is called antahkarana. The literal meaning of the word is inner instrument. So tad vritti, the thoughts arising therein. Tad vrittehe sakshi. Sakshi means the witness. Chaitanya vigraha, the embodiment of consciousness itself. Nothing other than consciousness. You are the very incarnation of consciousness. You are the walking, talking murti of consciousness. Then, Ananda Rupaha. What is that? Ananda Rupaha means what? In the form of Ananda alone. Satyaha. You exist, don't you? Yeah. And then so, Satyaha, Sun, being all this. Sun means being all this. Kim na atmanam prapadyase. Why don't you recognize yourself as such? Why don't you do this? Meaning, it's not like a question, like an admonishing. How come you don't recognize yourself as such? It's not a putting down or an admonishing, but it is more of a kind of a suggestion. It's a kim. Kim means what? It's a question of suggestion. Like somebody says, oh, I'm very thirsty. Why don't you go drink some water? It's a suggestion. It's not an admonishing. Oh, why don't you go drink some water? Why are you complaining? No, it's just a suggestion. Oh, I've been sitting around all day. Why don't you take a nice walk? The weather is lovely. Go take a walk. It's a suggestion. So it's a friendly suggestion here. And it is a very important part of the teaching also. So it's not just about taking it's not a mundane suggestion, it's a spiritual suggestion. And what is the suggestion? You are Satchidananda. And it is high time you understood that. And in the recognition of yourself as Satchidananda lies your redemption from sorrow and fear and samsara. This is what is pointed out. Antahkarana tadvritti sakshi chaitanya vigraha. So you are the sakshi and you are chaitanya, meaning you are a consciousness itself, and then you are ananda rupaha. You are all the time happy. And the student is thinking, okay, I think I need to leave here, I think I need to push off because this is all the series of impossibilities these suggestions are going. So, but then it doesn't look nice to suddenly leave. So I think I should just nod my head and slowly back off when the time is, when the time is suitable. No. Why? Because there is truth here. And truth, no matter how lofty and how difficult it is, it resonates somewhere. It resonates. Even somebody who doesn't understand wants this knowledge. It resonates. And so here, but he goes in a systematic way. Antahkarana. So you have the mind, body. You have the body, and what we call the mind includes ahankara, emotions, everything. All these buddhi, intellectual faculty, all these things are there. The vacillating faculty, all these things are there. And so that is just that vritti, antahkarana tad vritti. So there, what is this antahkarana famous for? It's a receptacle for thoughts. All kinds of thoughts are entertained there. It's a nursery for thoughts. It's a daycare center for thoughts. Some of them, they have to be they have to be, what should I say, permanently put to sleep, because it's not nice to entertain them. They have to be euthanized. Some thoughts have to be euthanized for everyone's good. And some of them have to be suspended. They have to be lulled and put a pacifier in the mouth. Not now, not now, not now. And so this is a nursery of thoughts. This is where all the thoughts grow up and then become actions. They grow up, and what grown-up thoughts, they turn into action. And so therefore, so this vritti is there, and then sometimes one thinks that one has no power over the thoughts, and even that thought one did not have a power over. It just came. And to a certain extent that's true, because how do you know what is your next thought? Do you know your next thought? No, you don't know your next thought. So to a certain extent this is true, and this is the bread and butter of the Kenopanishad. That's how it starts. Kene shitam patati preshitam manah. The student says, who is sitting there putting thoughts in my head? And if you ask this kind of a question in polite society, you will be committed. Not a committed student, you will be otherwise committed. That's why there are ashrams and teachers. You can air out these thoughts nicely, So, but this is worth thinking about. Who is the one putting thoughts in my head? But when you come close to that thought, who is the one putting thoughts in my head? You are already well on your way to becoming a sakshi. Yes, you have packed your sandwich and you are on your way to becoming a sakshi. You are on the way. It's wonderful. So then sakshi means what? So there are all these thoughts and I am not thinking them, but then I have the freedom to observe them. Yes, this one must be euthanized. That one is, crying, it needs to be hugged. The third one, just ignore it, will go away. And the fourth one is full of all kinds of, it's got the armament. It's armed to the teeth with ragadvesha, stay away from it. There are two things here. There is antahkarana, there is the vrittis, and then there is a silent, invariable observer of these vrittis. And that is what you are. That is very close to the lakshyartha we are well on our way to understanding what is the meaning of lakshya, implied meaning of the word tvam. We are well on our way to arriving at that. And so antahkarana tadvritti sakshi. So you are the sakshi. So in this nursery of thoughts, you know everyone's names, you know all the babies, and you know them. And some of them have to put in cages. Some of them have to put on a leash, like children, some toddlers I see in airports. The harassed parents with an active toddler, they have the toddler on a leash. Still the parents are running after it. What's the use? But this is what it is. Some semblance of control. So then there is that sakshi. And who is this sakshi, if you ask? The teacher says that sakshi is nothing but chaitanya vigraha. The truth of this sakshi, the sakshi is not one more thought. Many people think this. Even in this, what is that called? Neo-Vedantic circles. Then there is the sakshi, and there is the sakshi of the sakshi of the sakshi of the sakshi, and then you just go mad. That's what happens. End result is you are mad. So here the buck stops at the sakshi. And the truth of the sakshi, the content of the sakshi is that it is the embodiment of awareness, consciousness. This is what the sakshi is. Sakshi chaitanya vigraha. And from that standpoint, what is that? It is ananda rupaha, because it is not aligned with, in any way, connected with, involved with the baby, what is that called? Baby care center of the nursery of thoughts. It is not aligned with that. It is its own being. It is resting in its own glory. It is not, it is unconnected to that which it observes. This is the truth. This is the maxim that we go by, that whatever you observe, you are not. Whatever you observe is objectifiable, and whatever you observe, you are not. So therefore, you are not objectifiable at all. That is the maxim here. So if by that rule of thumb, so all these thoughts you observe, that means what? You are not the thoughts. And that itself is good news, thank God. That is why you are Ananda Swarupa. Wonderful. I am not the thoughts. Fantastic. Awesome. Great. Celebrate. Party. Because I am not these miserable thoughts that are there, waiting to be born or just born or waiting to, become, stubborn, chronic, invalidating thoughts, chronic thoughts, difficult thoughts, thoughts that bring down the self-confidence, thoughts that you don't like. All these thoughts, I'm not. I'm just who? The observer. Oh, come on, who is this observer? Chaitanya Swarupa. That which is in the form of awareness. And that's why you are Ananda Rupa, because you are instantly freed of the misery of aligning with or thinking that you are involved with Antahkarana and its various sad narrative of all these vrittis. So that itself is happy making, very, very happy making. Then that's why you are Ananda Rupa. And you are Satyaha. Satyaha means unchanging, invariable. So in every thought, there are two components, the variable and the invariable. The variable is the object of thoughts, and the invariable is the observer of the thought. The object of the thought, the subject matter of the thought comes and goes, changes, dies, is born again, dies, and is sustained. And then the observer neither comes nor goes, is there forever, unchanging Sat, presence. So the observer is happy, the observer is in the form, from this verse we get a lot, the observer is in the form of consciousness, awareness. The observer is not, the truth of the observer is awareness. The observer, in other words, resolves into awareness. That's what we get. And this awareness is free of sorrow. That's another thing we got. And this awareness is existent as that which is invariable in every thought. Very beautifully put. And so that is who you are. And that is what you are. And then why not? A nice friendly suggestion. This sun means, this being the case, Kim na atmanam prapadyase. Why not think of yourself like that? Why not think of yourself like that? And it's deliberately casual. Because if the student was told, you must think of yourself like this, then the student will say, I don't know if I can. And then immediately be subject to another spate of misery. That is scenario number 1. Scenario number 2, I won't, just because you said so. And or scenario number 3, no matter how hard I try, I cannot, and I'm in the doldrums, or I'm already there, I've been there, done that, so I don't need this, I already know this. So all that is not there, and so here it's just, that's why it is in the form of a friendly suggestion, being still, that it's an introductory verse talking about the Tvampada. And then, so therefore, it is in the form of a friendly suggestion. So from verse 11 to, is it 17? Let's see. Sanghatvopi tathanaham. Probably up till 21. We have, now we are on the way to start what is called Tvampada Vichara, an analysis of the word you. So the first good portion of the text takes into a lengthy analysis of what is the meaning of the word you, starting with this suggestion. Okay? Yeah. So we'll see more tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.